In the summer, on bright Friday mornings, we used to spring into the makeshift tree fort deep into the woods by Little Star Creek. Back behind our houses and across the railroad tracks where we'd flip our quarters and dimes at each other into a shiny pile and count. $1, $2, now $3, now $4.50, and sometimes even up to a grand total of 10 whole dollars and 4 small grins and laughing eyes.
Each of us would scoop a handful of the metal joy, wheel and wheel and wheel after wheel across jagged cobblestone and gravel, and that smooth asphalt the trucks put down when we were 7.
We'd go anyway, every Friday, every summer. And if one of us was coughing in their bed, rather than coughing up their coins in our fort, we'd wheel faster and faster, not minding oncoming cars, and burst into that shop with the checkered tiled floors, and the red-haired lady with the peculiar apron would giggle and lay powdered pastries before our eyes, and extend her arm where coins would melt into her gentle, laughing hands.
The man with the paper and checkbook would roll his eyes and give a pointed look her way, and Miss Peculiar would shrug and roll her eyes right back, so fast they nearly fell out and rolled right over to his heavy oil-black boots.
And he'd stuff his nose back down into the bad news of the week prior, and our rubber soles would squeak out onto the sun-covered road with warm paper bags all rolled up, and we'd fly, almost nearly fly, to whoever of our group had fallen sick and bustle past the fence and drooling siblings with gaping eyes, and the mothers' brooms, and up the crooked failing stairs with such excitement and clamor that the whole neighborhood of leaning houses just knew that today had to be Fort Day or Pastry Friday or Pool Day or whatever those scruffy kids with beaten-down jeans with the knees showing through decided to call it.
And seeing our friend, stuffy in his bed, I'd gather his pastry with the both of mine and hand it all over, and he'd look like I handed him the whole world, with all the birds and Sunday nickels I had. It felt like giving, and it felt an awful lot like love.
The kind of love that your mother felt that time when you wheeled your bike into the thickets and brambles and had little crimson droplets decorating your legs and arms like pearls, and salty tears decorating your face, and she'd shake her head and giggle a bit with her big doe eyes and get a washcloth and say, "Be more careful, darling," and that's what it felt like.
Summer, 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 and next-door neighbors until fall, and school, and a new classroom, and sports, and we haven't seen each other in a while, in ages.
Life became lonely, and the fort behind the tracks was overgrown with vines, and time and critters ate at the walls.
And our mothers asked when the last time we saw each other was.
And Miss Peculiar and the old man wondered whatever happened to those funny little kids.
The trains didn't stop zooming, speeding, racing, and time seemed to outrun us. And it wasn't until one day, one moment, one year, when the girl sitting next to you watched you drop your pencil. She handed it to you and smiled.
And the next day, she caught your arm leaving class and insisted that you study with her.
And 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years later, you're sat together under the soft glow of a street lamp, out front an old pastry shop, and she pulls your hand and makes you dance, and you giggle and squeal, and both your feet seem left, and her face falls.
She cries and sobs, and you aren't sure why, and she isn't sure why. But you hold her until she stops and hand her the last pastry, and she looks at you like you handed her the whole world, with all the birds and Sunday nickels you had.
And it felt like giving, and it felt an awful lot like love. And you feel 7 again.